Don't.
What if the biggest Spider-Man movie ever spoiled its own ending right? There in the title, everyone read Brand New Day and thought fresh start, but comic fans knew better. Those three words named the one story where Peter Parker makes a deal with the devil. This is now one of the most successful movies ever made, but the part everyone missed isn't in the movie. It's in the name, and Marvel planted that clue a full year before you ever bought a ticket. So here's the question this whole video answers: did Peter actually make the deal? To understand why that title is so loaded, you need to know where his story left off at the end of the last movie, No Way Home. Peter made an impossible choice to save the world. He begged Doctor Strange to erase him from everyone's memory. It worked. His best friend Ned, his girlfriend MJ, every person he'd ever met, all of them forgot Peter Parker existed. So he's the strongest he's ever been, and completely alone now. That setup will sound very familiar to comic fans, because there are three clues that this movie is quietly building toward: a deal with the devil, and the third one is hiding in the film's very last shot. Let's take them in order. Back in 2007, Marvel published a Spider-Man story called One More Day. To this day, fans agree on nothing about it, except that they hate it. Here's what happens: Aunt May has been shot and she's dying. Peter has tried everything, every hero, every scientist, every bit of magic he can find. Nothing saves her. Then a man in a sharp suit shows up with a way out. His name is Mephisto. He's Marvel's version of the devil, a demon who's been trading with desperate souls for decades. His offer is simple: he'll bring Aunt May back. In return, he takes Peter's marriage to Mary Jane. He doesn't kill her, he erases the whole relationship from reality, like the wedding never happened. And right before Peter agrees, Mephisto shows the couple one last thing: a glimpse of the daughter they were meant to have, a child who now will never be born. Peter says yes. He gives up the love of his life to keep his aunt alive. Fans were so angry that people still say it broke Spider-Man for a decade, and the storyline that rebooted his entire life the moment it ended. It was called Brand New Day. So that's clue one, but a comic from almost 20 years ago could just be a coincidence until you see clue two. Clue two: the devil is already here, because Mephisto isn't just a comic book character anymore. He's in the movies now. In 2025, Marvel released a series called Ironheart. For most of the show, nobody knew who the real villain was. Then in the final minutes, he stepped into the light. Mephisto, played of all people by Sacha Baron Cohen, and fans had been waiting years for this exact moment. 4 years earlier, another Marvel show, WandaVision, sent the whole internet into a frenzy. Everyone was convinced Mephisto was the secret mastermind he never showed. So when he finally arrived for real, it was a huge deal. In Ironheart, he does the one thing he's known for: he offers a grieving young hero the chance to bring back someone she lost. She takes the deal, and it leaves a scar on her, because with Mephisto there is always a hidden cost. Now here's a detail most casual fans don't know: in the comics, Mephisto and Spider-Man go way back. The devil even had a hand in corrupting the man who'd become the Green Goblin, Peter's oldest enemy. To Mephisto, Peter isn't a random target, he's a favorite. So 2 clues down the story exists: the devil is real, and Marvel named a Spider-Man movie after the exact tale where those two collide, but neither clue proves Peter makes the deal in this movie. 4, that we have to watch what actually happens on screen, and that's where everything gets strange. Everyone sat down in that theater expecting the same thing: Peter alone and desperate, the devil waiting in the shadows. The most heartbreaking deal in comic history finally on the big screen, and the movie opens exactly like a horror story. Peter's a full-time hero now, cleaning up New York's villains and handing them to a government cleanup crew, but their facilities keep getting hit by something invisible, a force that jumps from person to person, taking over their minds. It breaks a villain named Scorpion out of custody. It leads Peter to a strange mind-controlled drug. Old faces resurface to the Punisher and even the Hulk, now living as a mild-mannered college professor, and Peter himself is changing. His body starts to transform. He begins shooting webbing straight out of his own wrists. No more gadgets. His senses go into overdrive. It gets so bad he builds a chip just to stop his own powers from taking over. Everything feels dark and wrong, and exactly like the build-up to a deal with the devil. And then comes the reveal: the villain isn't Mephisto at all, it's a teenage girl with staggering psychic power. Her name is Jean Grey, the very first of the X-Men crossing into this universe. She'd been the invisible enemy the entire time. The devil never appears. No bargain, no Mephisto. The credits roll, and a lot of people walk out feeling cheated. So did Peter make the deal on screen? No, but here's the twist the title was pointing at: All along, look at what this movie is actually about: a world that forgot, Peter Parker memories torn out of existence, a hero who would trade anything to make the people he loves remember him. Those aren't random plot points, those are the exact ingredients of that deal with the devil. The erased love, the stolen memory, the impossible price Marvel didn't cut, the deal from the movie. They built the whole movie around the empty space it leaves behind. They just haven't shown you who fills it yet, and that brings us to clue 3, the one hiding in the film's very last shot. Because the movie ends on a mystery, Ned built an app to track Spider-Man across the city. In the final scene, it pings him and the map zooms out past the moon until it locates Peter somewhere in deep space. Then the screen says only Spider-Man will return. No title, no date. The director, Destin Daniel Cretton, admits he left it that vague on purpose because a much bigger event is coming, a massive crossover called Avengers Doomsday, and after it, Secret Wars, where the entire universe gets torn apart and rebuilt from scratch, and in the comics, a reset that enormous is exactly where a deal with the devil belongs. So back to the question we started with: did Peter make the deal? Not yet, but the title, the comic, The Devil in the Shadows, and that final shot all point to the same answer: it's coming. And the people who made it seem to agree. This became the biggest movie on Earth. Its trailer alone was watched over 700 million times in a single day, a world record. Marvel's own boss, Kevin Feige, reportedly stood up and cheered the first time he saw it, and Sacha Baron Cohen has already said he's confident his devil will be back. So Brand New Day was never a fresh start, it was a warning planted a full year in advance, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. If you want to see where this whole plan really began, watch my breakdown on the devil's first appearance in Ironheart. Every piece of this theory traces back to that one scene. And if you love catching what Marvel buries on purpose, subscribe. I go digging for these every single week. I'll see you in the next one.